This is real fun. It is hopefully planting day on our last hayfield. We got 30 acres to put in here. I worked it a couple weeks ago and then it rained quite a bit. This field's got a lot of low spots in it. It's pretty heavy ground, so let it sit. Finally it dried out enough yesterday to start going, so I came and did one pass. There's a lot of residue in this field. I think the previous tenant, they must have cut the beans when stuff was kind of wet, so the residue was really tough and really long and stringy, and it's not flowing well through this. But I'm going to do one more pass on it today here, and hopefully we'll be planting this afternoon. So come along for the ride here on this first little pass here. See what we can do for speed after it's dried out a little bit more since yesterday. Yeah. There we go. Okay, that's pretty good. 6.2, she seems to be pulling pretty good. Even a pretty good base. Low spot without any trouble. Awesome. I think this is going to be a much more pleasant experience than it was yesterday. Yesterday was a struggle. Yeah, I'm gonna make some tracks. We'll come back to you guys when we're getting ready to start planting later today. Alright, we are doing the last outside rounds of 2024. Just pretty excited. I'm kind of tired of sitting here driving back and forth with the cultivator. We still got to plant this field. We'll start that yet today. At least done beating up this field. 3 passes still kind of gets me. That's a lot to have to do to get a field ready to go, at least for this area. All the corn and bean guys, they just do 1 pass. Organic folks are more likely to do more. But I'm almost there. It's the home stretch. I'll have to come back and pick up some rocks later. There's a good number that are, what is that? Big softball size. But that can happen after planting. Once stuff is starting to come up a little bit. And I can drive on it without messing stuff up. So I'll come back once I got the drill hooked up and around this field and start to calibrate things.
So no matter what I do, these are always backwards. I don't mind if the packer is backwards, because once we're in the field, it just stays down the whole time, but the drill, I gotta go up and down. Oh, and I just did those backwards. Whoever plumbed this thing backwards, the top hydraulic set is controlled by the wrong lever. At least the wrong lever by my brain standards. Let a hook. Let a hook. Let it ride. Good job. I'm gonna drive over by the shop here and load up some seed here. Let's get you back in a good spot here. Good magnet spot for a camera there. Up, up. Perfect. So we'll drive back over to the shop here. I can't back up with this rig, so I'm a little limited where I can go around the farm and not get stuck. You can see that train I got going behind me there. But the road's plenty wide enough here to drive back to the shop, and I'll chuck 4 bags, maybe 6 bags. Enough bags on that I can start when I get to the field, and at least do the outside rounds, and then I'll probably pause and maybe go grab a soda or a drink or something and swim back by the farm and grab enough bags to finish what I'm going to do tonight. I don't think I'm going to plant the whole field since it's, what time is it? It's already 10 to 4. Take me a minute here to load up seed. I gotta calibrate the thing, it's not calibrated right now. So, time. It's just, everything in farming takes time, and I am not good at judging how much or how little time is needed. I tend to wildly underestimate how much time things are gonna take. Optimistic, I'd say. I'll be back once we're in the field and start to do some work. Okay, so everybody's got their own method of calibrating a grain drill. If you're lucky, your grain drill has got charts, which in this one are on that side. There's a tip over here. If you're lucky, your grain drill will have some nice charts. My experience has been, that was actually really loud, that those charts are absolutely useless, except as a general starting place. This drill in particular
It's one of my landlords. He so graciously is renting us it to plant all of our fields this year. It's spent a lot of time living outside. I'm sure when it was brand new, that chart meant something, but it's basically useless at this point. So I have got a method for calibrating this thing. It works both on this drill. It works both for the front box and for the back box. You don't even necessarily have to change the math at all, but it starts with getting yourself what I would normally have is two stakes that we use for cattle fence and a tape measure. So on this drill, because it's a 12-foot deal, if you do the math, 300 linear feet works out as a pretty good number for calculating your total rate. So what I do, I have to sit you guys down here for a second, or well, just stick you to the tractor if I can. Kind of hard to do one-handed. So it's kind of just the flags that I had in the back of my truck. Well, one of them's even not a flag, it's a PVC pipe, but we're gonna mark front tire of the tractor here. I don't need to hold that while I'm trying to do this. If your stake is not so tall with a flag on it, you can just slide some of the top if you've only got one person. And then we're gonna take our PVC here, and we are going to walk 300 feet. And then we're gonna put, oh good Lord. There we go. We're gonna go 300 feet and we're gonna put this PVC pipe down. And that is gonna mark the end of our test plot. And I will show you the kind of rest of the process here once I get this laid out here. Okay, so you can see the tape there. We got, I don't know if you can see that, but it's 300 feet. You can't see. Tractor's all the way down there. So I'm gonna coil this up real quick and go from there. All right, so normally at this point, my next step would be to start putting some seed in the drill and starting to run tests out, but because I was lazy and didn't do a good job cleaning out inside of these the last time I used it, and some water got in there, all that seed did some weird stuff. The chaff and all that stuff is all kind of gumped up in there. I picked at some of it as best I could with my pocket knife, and I got a little shop vac Milwaukee deal with me. Clean out as much as I can, but I'm actually going to drive. I'm going to do a little loop here and come back and line back up before I put seed in here and see if some of that junk clears out of the rollers before I start, because that can really make a mess of the whole process if you leave it in there. Okay, now I've done a little loop-de-loop. I know all the meter rollers are clear. I even took a pick and cleaned them out some more. Took the little vacuum cleaner, cleaned in there. So the next thing we're going to do, I got a bag of seed here. I'm going to take a nice scoop, and in this drill, there's kind of a nice cavity here where there's two meters kind of isolated. So what I can do is fill up that cavity there with seed, and those two drops will drop seed, but nothing else will. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Good scoop here. And this drill, each side is metered independently, so you can set one side to be more and one side to be less, either on purpose or accidentally. The drill does not care. So my goal here is that I'm gonna set one side, so the big handle here, the matching one over there, I'm gonna set one side right where I think it ought to be, just based on my, oh, of course this is stuck here. So this is one of the other challenges. If you leave schmutz in there, it can be hard to move the shaft side to side. Let's set you guys up there and I can work on this moving freely here. So oh yeah, bunch of schmutz. Icky schmutz. Should have done that before I put seed in there. I don't know if you guys can see in there, but there's schmutz. Okay, well now we're moving side to side. I'm going to grab the vacuum again and clean out what I can, because that was dumb. I feel like this is just sort of another reason why starting a farm, being a first-gen farmer and starting on your own is just so hard sometimes, because I'm sure some old timer could have told me exactly what was going to happen and you know what to do in this circumstance, and there's just no old timer out here with me. I gotta learn stuff the hard way basically every time. I've been farming for a while, so you'd think I'd learn better, but no. So I used the vacuum, cleaned the seed out, got everybody moving nice and clean. I'll vacuum the rest of the schmutz out and try this again. Alright. Wouldn't say schmutz free, but we're less schmutz. Some seed flowing through should help clean out that last little bit of goopy stuff. It's not enough to inhibit the roller, so seed should still flow through just fine. Okay, let's get this out of here. So now that we're back to where we started, I can actually think about calibrating this thing. So I don't know, I'm sure there's a better way to do this. This is what I've come up with to collect a seed sample. So, oh, and I gotta set this. All right. That's all the way closed. Go a little further. Yeah, some of these rollers still got some schmutz in them. Enough schmutz that I don't know if it's gonna flow the way that
That should. I don't know if you guys can see it all what I'm doing. I'm just trying to scrape schmutz off the rollers. The seed, if there's any damp schmutz in there, the seed will actually desiccate it and dry it out as it goes. But it can't be so much that the seed doesn't want to flow. And with how tight these are, some of these might not flow great. I'm worried that you can get schmutz back up behind these two. Putting these on and taking them off is kind of a chore. I hate taking them all off. I think I have to, or else I'm gonna have a seed flow problem here, I bet. Yeah, because I shouldn't be. That's what worries me. When I wiggle those, stuff comes out. Which means there was stuff in there when moisture got in the top box. It's not windy today, so it's probably not the end of the world if I ran these off, but it does change seed placement quite a bit. So probably what I'll do is I'll take them all off, and when I'll see if I can take my test cups up on directly to these and bypass the drop tubes, and then when I'm trying to take the clip out of this one hand and it's not working very well. When I fill the whole thing up, I'll drive for a bit and make sure seed's dropping out of every tube or every one of these little cups. And if seed's coming out of all of them, then I can put the tubes back on. But that way I don't have to fight trying to make sure that they're all metering properly. Just making extra work for myself. See if I can show you how I do these cups here. So the idea is we want to capture all the seed coming out of every one so that we can measure it. So I made these up the other day because I've been having to do this on and off a bunch. And what we'll do is and normally I tape them down on the drop tube, so this is a bit different than what I've been doing, but I think this will actually work a little better. You don't need much tape. It's not like the seed that's going to come out weighs really anything. I can break it off from the roll first. Slip this guy up here. I don't necessarily recommend electrical tape for this, but electrical tape is just what I have. So we got those two. We'll go do the other two. All the drop tubes while we're here. Give them all a wiggle. Yeah, a bunch of what's coming out is this seed I tried to run through the small box the other day, and I knew, before I even started, I knew it was not gonna flow good. It was too big a seed, but I'm a sucker for punishment. And didn't take them off, or didn't switch to the big box. And all these plugged up within 50 feet. I had to clean all the seed out and switch. Okay, clear there. It's like a dexterity test trying to do this. Okay. I've got both sides set visually where I think they need to be. The goal is about 15 pounds an acre. I can be a little heavy and still be okay. Yeah, there's still a lot. I gotta grab a pick. A couple of these still have quite a lot of schmutz down in there. That's gonna cause problems, but I'll get that cleaned out and I'll come back to you when I'm starting to do the first test round. Alright, I finally got all the schmutz cleaned up enough, I think, to do a good test here. We're gonna test, we'll actually probably do a 600-foot test, so I can drive down the test lane, turn around, and come back and do another. The longer your test run, the more accurate your results will be. So, gear, I'm going to drive forward until the drill is in line with the flag, set it down, drive, and lift it up when it's in line with the next flag. Watching the cups as we go along to make sure that the seed is accurately metering into it. Looks like one of them is maybe not dropping anything. The two on the passenger side look okay. Okay, good. Sometimes when you lift it up, the cups will get messed up. And they won't drop into place. will get like tipped up and your seed won't be actually falling into the cup anymore, which I think that's what's gonna happen if I try and set this back down again. So I know I've got a good sample on one side, so I want to protect that sample as best I can. So I won't do 600 feet. I'll just do 300 and weigh what I got and see where I'm at, because I'll almost guaranteed have to do this sample again, either to confirm the rate or because I'll have to make an adjustment to one or both sides to get it more accurate. So get in position here and shut the tractor down and go weigh the samples. Alright, we got test cup number 1 here. Because that other row wasn't dropping. Full of gunk. So, what we're going to do here is try and find a place for you guys that's out of my way. Shows you what I'm doing here. So I got a scale. We own just for this purpose. It's not windy today, thankfully. Sometimes I have to do this in the truck if the wind's blowing. So I guess I need to put the cup on. We're going to tear that. We're going to pour our sample in there. 34 grams. Let me grab my computer. So what I've done is I've got a Excel sheet on my computer here. Something bit me pretty good there. I got an Excel sheet on my computer. Of course, we gotta connect to my phone or the internet. Making my life hard. There we go. Dudes. Okay, so we got 300 feet. We've got 33 grams. So that's a rate of 21.1 pounds per acre. So we got to tighten that side a little bit. Let's go grab samples from the other side. Okay, so this sample is maybe messed up because I think I accidentally poured some out. But we'll see. 24 grams, okay, that's perfect. Twenty 24 again. Okay, so what that means, if I want to be bold, I will just send it. If I want to be careful, I will match the other side. That's not what I needed. I will match both sides to be the same. And send it. Or I guess if I want to be careful, I will match both sides and I'll do another test, which is what I'm going to do, because this is a big field and I don't have enough seed extra to be super far off. So the way I match both sides is with a little bolt. Sorry, you guys are backlit pretty bad there. The way I do this, get you here, I take this bolt, and it's a pain in the butt to measure these rollers. So I thread the roller in until it sits pretty nicely. So these two rollers are the ones that I measured off of, and they're both exactly the same. This one's a little wider, this one's a little looser or tighter. What I'm looking for here is that they're all close. They're all really similar to what I set this to. And then on the other side, I can go and match it to this. This seems to work super well for getting it accurate across both sides. The 3 other fields that I've planted so far, both of them, the rate on both sides, they've come down evenly, so I feel really confident in it. So let me match the other side. We'll tape some cups up and we'll do another test real quick. And if it nails in the same ballpark, we'll send it. We'll start seeding this field. All right, so we'll do this process again here. I've got the 2 from the what would be the driver's side first. My regular battle with hotspot. It came from a MacBook, and I just bought this framework, which I'm not used to Windows to begin with. And it doesn't like to play nice with my iPhone hotspot. I haven't quite figured out a system yet for making it work, but we're going here now. Okay. So sample 1 is 26, which is 16.65, so still within the acceptable range. This other sample is 19, which is a little low. That's the equivalent of 12. But this is also a row that had some schmutz in it, so I'm that's pretty acceptable as if it clears out. Like, I can literally see schmutz in the sample, so we'll go grab the other 2 real quick and see what they come back as. Alright, I got the 2 last samples here. And the first one is 25 again. Perfect. And 20, a little low, but we're still within our general range. So what we'll do is, well, I've got 100 pounds of seed extra. And you sort of need 30 to 50 pounds left in the drill for it to continue to flow. So we should be good. Ah, these flying ants are driving me nuts here. It's a terrible spot to try and work. But we know that we're close enough. We're within the range of acceptable numbers, so I'm gonna get the drill stuff kind of cleaned up, the drill filled up with some seed, and get started moving. All right, well, I can finally start planting here. I'll bring you guys along for the outside rounds, but I won't probably talk at all because it takes quite a bit of my attention to do this. I just noticed another one of the openers is in the wrong spot. Fix that first. Fix one of those lifters. It's cockeyed, so I'll slide it back where it belongs and then
get going here. Okay, now I can start planting. So, I'll actually do a loop and I'll start planting right in this corner so I can just keep making this corner a little bit tighter and tighter. I always start with the field edge off to my right. Because that's what I can see well. Okay. Fuck. Most of the seed tubes are not dropping. That sucks. So. I'm gonna pause you guys. I'm gonna climb out there, pop off all the seed cups, clean them out. Do a loop again, start over. Farming man. Alright, well after more mucking around than I really wanted to do, we are finally seeding. Drill was just pretty gummed up. Or the drop cups were gummed up. It's a little sticky down here still. Just trying to not get stuck here. It helps to be in four-wheel drive. I have to come back and touch that spot up, but all the cups were just jam-packed full of crap. It's just my own fault for not cleaning it out proper. That just happens. I thought they were good enough, and they weren't. So I took every cup off, cleaned every single one, and stuck them back on, stuck the drop tubes on. And it looks, as far as I can tell, everything looks like it's flowing good. I went and opened up the lid, looked in there to make sure that material had flowed out on every opener that looked like they had. So that was a good sign. So yeah, just doing the outside rounds here.
I do 6 passes around the outside, which I'll do the math when I stop to calculate how many acres that ends up being, and then I can add seed, because I know that there was 100 pounds in there, about how full it was. So I'll add seed on top of that, and that'll give me a good idea of how much seed I have used relative to the acreage. And if we're close, then we're good. I keep going. So this is the hard part of this whole process is done now. It's just the planting that's left. There's a rock. I'll clean that up. Yeah, it's easy. Relative. It's just driving now. Don't have to think too much. But I'm tired. I'll maybe, if I don't edit this before the seed comes up, I'll come get a picture or some video of this field coming up. So. So it is the next day, 9 o'clock or something, I think here. I got up early and got the ball rolling to get out here, finish planting. Yeah,
After I got the outside rounds done last night, I was pretty knackered. Very thankful for my wife for having food for me and out the house, ready to go. It was also the second night of the Aurora last night, and I slept through the first one. My wife saw it on Friday night, and she poked me to try and stay up late enough to go see it a little bit at least. You know, it's not horribly uncommon in our area, but 2 nights in a row is definitely uncommon, and as strong as it apparently was. When I saw it at about 10 o'clock, it was not very much. You know, we live in town, so a little bit of other lights, couldn't really see it super well, but it just adds to the misery of not enough sleep. But we're here going. It's a lot easier to see. So I'm betting you guys can't see what I can on the camera, but it's pretty clear. The last pass of field cultivation, I did it at a slight angle, and part of the logic of that is, one, it helps break up the residue a little bit more evenly, but also when you go to plant, it's easier to see the line from the planter if it's at a slight angle to the previous pass. So I can see the space that's been rolled, packer has been over, and I can see the tire marks from the grain drill super well. So I've got my loader set at a height where if I line up the corner, kind of top corner of the loader beam with the tire track of the grain drill, I've got just about perfect overlap. So that makes it pretty easy to stay on track. I don't have guidance or GPS or anything in this tractor. Certainly wouldn't mind it, but it's kind of expensive. They don't make a kit specifically for this tractor, so it'd be a lot of work to make it work. And at least for seeding, I can see really clearly. In the dark, it is much harder. That's part of the reason I quit when I did last night. You start to get into the dusk, and it's really hard to see that line. Your eyes are straining a lot. You have to focus really hard on what you're doing, and you still end up doing a bit of a sloppy job. So quit while I'm ahead. And now we're just getting all this rest of this rolled in. And another important piece of this puzzle that I haven't mentioned is, now I'll turn you guys around here so you can see me here. A really important piece of this puzzle comes in the form of my phone and a timer that I set. So you can't see inside of that seat box at all. And if you know your rate, you can do the math to calculate how long you can drive for. And know when to stop. But I just set a timer. So when I do the outside rounds, not the first pass usually, but the second or third, I'll time how long it takes me to go around. And that's a really easy number to calculate how many acres that is. For example, this field, the outside most round was like 1.2 acres, doing a 12-foot wide swath. So I then know the rate that I'm applying at, which for this field is about 15 pounds per acre. I just divide the time by the rate basically, and know how long I can drive before I would run out of seed. I pick a safe amount of time before then. You have to be consistent in your speed for this to work, because if you up your speed, your rate increases. Well, your rate stays the same, but how quickly you apply that rate changes. And the math doesn't work anymore. But in the case of this field, I set a timer for 40 minutes. Every 40 minutes, I stop and I refill the seed. That's also my opportunity to check to make sure that my rate is relatively consistent. Because I know in that 40 minutes how many acres roughly I should have covered. It doesn't account for your corners, your turns, any stops to use the bathroom, anything like that, but it seems to be a pretty good consistent way of keeping track. The other thing I do is just a secondary emergency backup measure. Is on this drill it works out perfect because there's just a tube missing, but by leaving a tube off, I can see really clearly seed dropping through all the time, no matter where the sun is, no matter what angle I'm at. I can just look back and very quickly glance and know, okay, seed is still dropping out of that unit. If I see seeds stop dropping out of that unit, I know that I'm potentially out of seed and I need to stop and refill. So once you're going, this is kind of the easy part of the process. You don't have to think a ton, you just gotta pay attention to where you're driving and be careful, watch for real big rocks. I'll usually listen to an audio book or music or YouTube or something. It always gets real boring out here, so. Yeah, I'm coming up on my refill time here. I got 4 minutes to go. So I'll probably actually stop here, try and estimate how much of the field I've covered so far and how well I'm doing on my rate. Well, probably should do one more pass around based on the speed I'm going, and then I'll fill up. So, keep trucking away here. Well, that is a wrap. Planting 2024, we are done. I got this thing all cleaned out here. Nice and skookum. No junk. This field, the rate's a little wacky in this field. I think it's maybe a little late through the middle. I went back and redid this first section because I am 90% sure that was low, a light rate, and I went and there's a little low spot that should ton out really well and probably has the fertility and moisture to really produce over there. So I stuck some extra seed in that and a couple passes around the outside to smooth out my turns and put a little extra seed there. I flung out some extra seed in here on the field approach where it's going to get tore up the most. This high spot here doesn't matter so much because that's where bale storage is going to be, but yeah, it's a good feeling. Planting in general is stressful. It's your livelihood that's on the line if you make a mistake. So that's why you take so much time to make sure you're calibrated right, and that you got enough seed. And I've got a bag and a half left of the Beef Pro for touching up spots if I need it. I got a bag of a more grassy mix for the wet spots over in the corner of this field that need to dry out some more, so I'll just come back with a hand broadcaster and do those. And yeah, I'm gonna go home and take a nap, which seems like a good use of time. Thanks for watching.